Welcome to our Emergency Preparedness video series. This is number 3 of 12 videos that will become available during this year, one each month. First, here are our faces behind the voices. I'm Jennifer Ponce, Emergency Coordinator for the City of Morgan Hill's Office of Emergency Services.
And I'm Randy Christensen, an instructor for Morgan Hill's Community Emergency Response Team.
Being prepared for disasters and emergencies can seem like a big job. Many people don't know where to start, so they never start at all. Do One Thing is a 12-month program and has been adopted nationally by emergency services of many counties. The program makes it easy for you to prepare yourself, your family, and your community for emergencies or disasters.
The goal of this presentation is to describe options that you and your family may take when either sheltering in place or evacuating.
Our objectives are: 1. Identify the safest room in your home to shelter in place. 2. Prepare the possibility of having to evacuate to a public emergency shelter. And last, give you information on how to make a go bag for emergency sheltering.
To help explain the priorities that need to be taken to live through a disaster or emergency, let's review the survival rule of threes. You can live for 3 minutes without air, 3 hours without shelter in extreme conditions, 3 days without water, and 3 weeks without food. When gathering supplies for emergency kits, many people begin with food. At times, shelter may be more critical for survival, and that's the emphasis of this presentation.
When disaster strikes, you may have to decide whether to leave your home or stay inside and ride it out. Waiting until the last moment to make decisions makes it difficult to properly focus on making important decisions. Make those decisions on how to keep your family safe before disaster strikes. Practicing your plans is necessary to develop muscle memory. Those plans can become second nature, thus improving chances of survival. Important notes to remember for all disasters: don't call 911 to get information about a disaster or emergency. Only call 911 when you need first responder assistance. Always try to have access to a media source such as TV, radio, or internet.
Tornadoes and hurricanes don't normally affect us on the West Coast, but you may be vacationing or visiting states where they do frequent. Learn some minimal information about their dangers and how to deal with them. Some basic sheltering information when dealing with tornadoes and hurricanes. Place yourself at the center of the house with as many walls between you and the outside. Close all interior doors. Get under a strong table or other sturdy object. Get away from all glass. Do not stay in mobile or portable buildings.
Things to know about tornadoes. A tornado watch is issued in areas where weather conditions are right for forming a tornado. A tornado warning is given when a tornado has touched down. This means take action now. You have far less warning with tornadoes, maybe only minutes. When a tornado warning has been issued for your area, immediately take shelter. Don't waste time closing or opening doors and windows.
With hurricanes, meteorologists can normally give us a few days warning, but understand that a hurricane's path can change. The rains with a hurricane are much heavier and the winds can be very dangerous. Stay out of underground shelters because of flooding. Always try to be the first ones evacuating to avoid the traffic snarls.
Some of the basics about earthquakes. Those who live in California for their entire life will probably experience a major earthquake. We never know what magnitude the quake will be or for how long it will last. The longer it lasts, the better chance of greater damage. Whenever you start to feel an earthquake, assume it's a big one and immediately react to protect yourself. If you're outside when an earthquake occurs, stay outside. Immediately try to get under some shelter like a table or bench. Try to move the distance away from the building walls, 1.5 times their height in the event they collapse. Keep an eye out to avoid overhead items such as falling trees, falling glass, chimneys, light poles, and power lines and poles. If you live near a street, watch for moving vehicles, which may lose control. If inside when an earthquake begins, don't go running for the doors to get out. Get under a desk or table. Drop, cover, and hold on to that item which is covering you. If it's not bolted down, it will move. Stay away from windows, fireplaces, and top-heavy furniture. Get out of a kitchen where the cabinets will open and be emptied on you. Do not run downstairs or try to get outside while the shaking continues. Only walk out after the shaking stops.
With wildfires, there is no sheltering outside. Have all of your kits and personal items preloaded in your vehicle. If possible, plan 2 routes out of your neighborhood. Move all combustible items away from the house or take them inside. When given the order to evacuate your home, do it immediately. If the wildfire traps you at your home, do the following. Shelter in place with doors, windows, and vents sealed. Make sure all the home's doors and windows are closed, keeping out embers. Notify 911 that you're trapped. It will take time for responders to get to you. Turn on all the lights of your home to identify your residents.
Hazardous materials can be deadly. The first thing to do is get information from the TV or radio. Don't rely on social media. Many rumors are generated there. You will be told if you need to shelter in place along with other instructions. Don't call 911 to get the latest information. Only call 911 if you need emergency services.
There are ways to improve your safety when sheltering in place. Stay inside until being told that there's no more danger. You may receive notification by outdoor sirens if your community has any. Otherwise, listen to the TV or radio. Fire and police departments may be contacting people by knocking on doors or using loudspeakers on their vehicles. Always follow emergency instructions. If you're told to shelter in place, immediately go inside. Close and lock all windows and doors. If you're able to, turn off your air conditioning and heating. Grab your go bags and take them to your predetermined safe room. Seal the room with plastic sheeting, tape, and towels. Having materials ready for your safe room will eliminate confusion and save you time. Have the plastic sheeting already cut to size for all the windows, doors, and vents. Keep a roll of tape with the plastic. You may be in that room for 15 minutes to several hours. Plan how to meet biological needs. Strategically store some food and water in advance within that room. Have items stored that will assist in passing time.
If you have to evacuate, the community leaders will request to have shelters opened. Public shelters will supply your basic needs, a place to sleep, food, and water. Depending upon the emergency, there may be medical personnel. It's advised that you bring the following to a public shelter: identification for each person, pillows and blankets, they may only have cots or sleeping pads, a change of clothes for each family member, all necessary medication for each member of the family. This is important since there may not be immediate access to any pharmacies. Comfort items to help pass the time. You should not bring weapons of any sort. Alcohol, pets, they will not be allowed inside.
You can create a go bag with almost any type of container. You may have to be carrying it for a while, so be wise with your selection. Here are some suggestions for your go bag. This video can be paused if you want to copy the information. Also, the internet is loaded with other suggestions for go bags. If you have to shelter in place, make sure to take your go bag into the safe room with you. If you're going to a public shelter, take the go bag.
In review, you've been given suggestions on where the safest areas in your home are and what is needed when going to a public emergency shelter. You now have ideas on how to prepare your safe room and how to safely shelter in place. We've gone over go bags and gave suggestions on what they should contain. This concludes the presentation of Do One Thing, Shelter. Thank you for viewing.